Hi everyone! Today I thought I could share with you my story. How did I learn English on my own? And no, English is not my first language. For those who don't know, I was born in Sri Lanka, this tiny island at the south of India. I was adopted when I was 2 months old by French people. So I grew up in France. I lived in France my whole life. French is my first language. I grew up in this tiny city in France called Besançon. It's on the east side of France near Switzerland, and there is not too many people that can actually speak English over there. When I was a kid, when I went to school, we had to learn English, but in France, our teachers were pretty bad. They were mostly French people who learned English at school, went to university, got their degree, and became teachers. But they usually didn't really live in an English-speaking country. So I started learning English when I was 12 until I finished high school, so until I was 17. So for 5 years, I learned, the grammar, the basics, some vocabulary. We mostly learned, Brian is in the kitchen. Everybody from France had to learn this specific phrase. If you speak to someone from France who is 20 to 30 years old, they will know that because they had to learn that at school. English classes in France kind of suck at the regular school. I learned the basics and I learned some grammar, but that did not help me to speak at all. It's not the reason why today I can speak and make a video in English. So as I said, I was born in Sri Lanka and I didn't know anything about this culture. I went there when I was 16 years old with my parents. I wanted to learn their language, which is Sinhalese, but I couldn't because there was nobody in my city in France that could help me or teach me. I didn't know anybody, and there were not many people from Sri Lanka, or not the same part, and they were not speaking the same language. Because I realized I couldn't really learn this language, I chose to learn English, which is Sri Lanka's third official language. So I thought I will probably be okay speaking English over there, because at some point British were in Sri Lanka, so everything was written in English and in another language. So I made learning English my personal goal. That's what I wanted. I always told myself I want to speak English as well as I speak French. That was my ultimate goal. That's what I wanted to do, and I just kept thinking about that, and I learned it on my own. So after high school, I really wanted to go to university to get a degree in English and Spanish. And I remember my English teacher from high school said don't go there, and actually I stayed there 2 months because I hated it. We were learning translation, we were learning conjugation. It was nothing that I wanted. I wanted to learn in real, everyday situation. I wanted to be able to take a train, buy a ticket. I wanted to be able to go to a restaurant and order some food. I wanted to do everything that I can do in the everyday life in French, but in English. So I quit university, and everybody was like, oh, why? Why did you do that? And I said, well, I will never learn real English at the university, knowing that all the teachers are French. They're not even from Spain or from England or America. They're just French. So when I was 19, I decided to move to England. I said, I'm just gonna go there, live there, find a job, whatever job, I don't care, as long as I am immersed in the language and I am gonna learn the language every day. And I went to England. I moved to London. I went there with a friend. I just didn't know how to speak English. I could not understand their accent because it was really strong compared to what I learned at school, and it was really tough. And I got this job as a waitress in this pretty fancy French restaurant. The entire team, even the managers, were French. So I didn't really learn any new English words, vocab, anything, because the only language I was using over there was French. And as I was talking to the clients, and that was in English, and that was such a challenge. It was awful because they were asking me about the menu, stuff, and I could not even answer. I remember this person was like, what time is it? At the restaurant, he was about to eat and he asked me, excuse me, what time is it? And I realized that I could not tell the time in English. I did not know that. When he asked me, I was decomposing. I was like, I don't know. I can't tell you that. And he looked at me okay, that's fine. 9. And I felt so stupid. I could not even tell the time. And it was a lot of things like that. So then I just learned like little by little. Every day after work, I was coming home. Maybe I need to know like the basic questions, like what do you want to order? What do you like to drink? How was your day? All these like basic things that I didn't even know. So I started to make a list of vocab that I was learning, memorizing every day. And little by little, I just learned. But I honestly couldn't really speak in a conversation with friends or coworkers. Some of them were from other countries, so the only language we had in common was English. But I couldn't really talk to them. And I remember I met this person, and every time he was asking me random things, you know, like how was it going, like how was your day, but in a specific way that my mind could not understand it. When I was translating in French, it didn't make any sense. And then I was like, I have a feeling that I know what you are asking me, but I don't know. And they started to lose patience with me. So at the end, I would not talk anymore. It was hard. I stayed in London for 2 years, and I forced myself to learn more vocab, practice before each shift. My manager was helping me with vocab from the menu. For example, we had special. So before we started working, he was like, okay, today, tell me in English, what do we have? Like, talk to me about this thing. And it helped a lot, and I realized that I needed to learn what I needed to know, not just random thing. Brian is in the kitchen, great, what am I supposed to do with that? So yeah, that's how I actually started to learn. The immersion helped. So then I went back to France. I realized that I needed to work on the comprehension, because I started to understand little by little, but it was not great. Like I had to ask the person to repeat at least like 3 times before I could actually be like, oh, okay, I think I know what they mean. And then I would try to give an answer, but because my sentence structure was pretty bad, it was pretty hard, but I survived. So then to improve my comprehension, what I did, I was at home pretty bored because I was looking for another job. So what I did, I just watched a million movies, a million TV shows. Not great. I was bored, but it helped a lot because I watched everything in English with the French subtitles, and this helped me a lot. I'm gonna make a video about that to tell you exactly what I did. And after that, I moved to Canada for an internship. Yeah, that was the same. It was really hard at first, but I could understand better because of all the practice I had on my own. I just forced myself to speak. And now, 4.5 years later, I can make videos in English. My whole life is in English. I work in English. I speak English 90% of the day. Sorry guys. English is not my first language, but I'm pretty proud of like what I did. It took time, it did, and it was really hard, but that's why, like, I know how hard it is. I know how frustrating it can be to learn a different language, and that's why I am trying to help you so much. To help French on your own, I want to make it easy, because I know how we can struggle to understand a specific structure, to understand a specific vocabulary. Now there is a million different resources on the internet. We don't really know like what to do, how to do it, how often to do it. And everybody can learn a different way, but the way that I use, I know that it works, and I really want to show you that it's possible. Especially if it's a personal goal, you will be able to get there eventually. And I'm not saying it's gonna be easy once again, but you will get there. So don't give up, please. Please. It is so beautiful to be able to communicate in another language with other people. Even if there are people that will make fun of you at some point, they will say mean things, they will not respond to you in a nice way because they don't want to waste time to try to understand what you want to say. But at the end, who cares? Who cares? Because you are the one who is learning a different language. You are the one who makes so much effort to try to understand, to learn, to memorize, and to reuse something that you learned. So just keep going. I hope this video will motivate you a little bit. If you need me to tell you what I did, what was my routine, what type of movies or TV shows I watched, what did I do to reach that level, if you need any tips or just advice, please let me know in the comments.